What's good, Washington Commander fans? All right, like I told you earlier today, I was going to come back with another video about the Washington Commanders head coaching search. I did a video earlier today about the GM search top candidates, and like I said, there's going to be a lot more videos be dropping. There's going to be a lot more content coming about Washington Commanders. So therefore, I'm really going to be focused on Washington Commanders stuff this off season. Not so much about my other sports teams like the Bulls, like um, the Miami Hurricanes and stuff like that. I'll focus on them later down the line. But mostly this off season is all about Washington Commanders content. So with that being said, now Ron Rivera has been cut loose. We already seen that happen on Monday. But Josh Harris and his group, Mitchell Rouse and Magic Johnson has not been wasting any time. Definitely revving up. They already meeting with all the GMs down in Miami, potential GM candidates down in Miami, which is a very good spot to hey, get the feel, have a good lunch, check out the scenery, the vibes, and all of that stuff. Like a lot of people already feel that Adam Pearce is the guy. He definitely probably get the job. Most likely he probably got offered the job today and said, hey, you could go take other things, but we want you here. We're gonna take other candidates. Then they'll make an announcement. I do think within a week's time, once they do the head coaching process, they'll name the GM. And then particularly if they know who Adam Pearce wants as a head coach, it's going to make more sense to hire that guy. So, without further ado, these are the guys that most likely going to be in the top notch for the Washington Commanders at this time. So, I'm gonna start with the top guy. Now, there's like I said, Mike Vrabel was fired. Bill Belichick has not been let go yet. Me per se, I do not think Bill Belichick is going to lead the Patriots, but he could. There's a possibility he could, but who knows? But you got Dan Quinn now being interviewed. You got Mike Vrabel being interviewed. But I'm going down to my top. I'm going to give you my top three. Then I'm going to give you other notable names along the way that the Commanders are looking for. The number one person on the list, and a lot of people really feel like Ben Johnson is the guy. I like Ben Johnson. I love what he has done with Jared Goff, resurrecting his career from the Los Angeles Rams, putting a lot of weapons around him. You got David Montgomery, you got Jabari Gibbs, you got Amon St. John, you got other receivers, you got Jameson Williams coming back from injury, Alabama. So you got weapons there. Then you got a good tight end in LaPorta, you know what I'm saying? Because they traded T.J. Hawkinson to the Minnesota Vikings. So they built that team right. You know what I'm saying? And Ben Johnson has really showed. Now, what he does in the playoffs, really going to sustain. If they get upset by the Rams, in which that could happen, I think it would be easy for him to leave out. So Ben Johnson, he's the offensive coordinator. He's 37 years old, and like I said, he is the most covered, the most top name in there. And Washington will. There's other guys that they say Washington is their top guy, but trust me when I say this, Ben Johnson is the top guy for Washington. There is no doubt in my mind. Everybody could throw out all these different names and whatever, so forth and so forth and so on. But Ben Johnson is that guy. He is that guy. And think about it. He's young. He's not even 40 years old yet. This guy could be with the Commanders for a long time. I mean, really, just imagine he comes in, he could put his stamp on the team, and then he could also draft the quarterback to his liking. There's a whole lot. And something that if Ben Johnson comes, Drake May might be that guy. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Everybody's fascinated with Caleb Williams. That might not be the case. I think Ben Johnson might go with Drake May because he probably see a lot of Jared Goff in him. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do, put weapons around him. Drake May is not a bad quarterback. I seen him. I see him all the time. Just like I saw Sam Howell in the ACC. So that's why to me. So, like I said, he helped Jared Goff return back to form, even reaching a Pro Bowl, to Pro Bowl caliber status. The appeal with him isn't so much a track record of managing teams, but rather maximize offensive talent, which could be vital for the Washington as it attempts to capitalize on the 2024 resources. To no one's surprise, the Commanders have already requested an interview with him. And see, this is something that Ron Rivera failed. This is something that Eric Bieniemy failed. Maximize your talent. As much talent that we have on offense, our offense should have been putting up at least 23 to 24 points a game. There is no way that if Ben Johnson come in and add a little bit more pieces, especially get a tight end and get the right quarterback in place, just think how explosive our offense can be next year. I see a lot because you got to think you got a guy like Tony Gibson, still good. Brian Robinson, like a Jabir Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? You utilize them a little bit more. Then you got weapons on the outside with Dotson, Curtis Samuels, and Terry McLaurin. You bring all of these guys back, add a really good tight end to take the pressure, and add one more wide receiver to the mix. This offense could be very, very explosive, very, very explosive. And then you could get to see the things that this offense is when we didn't have in the last few years. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And like I said, the Washington Commanders are in a very, 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 very good position. Now, the next candidate on the list is my number 2 guy, Jim Harbaugh. Now, I know Jim Harbaugh way back then. Now, he's older. He's 60 years old. He's the brother of John Harbaugh over there in Baltimore. But they both defensive minds. They coach about the same. And they get the most. Jim Harbaugh just won a national championship with the Michigan Wolverines after beating Ohio State 3 straight years. Got knocked out of the college playoff last year by TCU and came back. All the guys came back. And you see last night what a Michigan team will look like built. Now, we already know Jim Harbaugh's track record. Everywhere he goes, he touch is golden. He wins games. He takes your team to elite status. He knows talent too. Now, like I said, the only thing, his age, he's 60. So how long is he willing to coach? Will he willing to coach 10 years? Be the same age as Belichick? Will he have that long in him? Will he coach 6 or 7 years? That's the difference with Jim Harbaugh, is his age. It's not about his resume because the man's resume is impeccable. It's about him staying, being comfortable. Michigan is going to do everything they can to keep Jim Harbaugh there because they want to win more college championships. Jim Harbaugh has brought a culture to that team. And just imagine if he did walk away to excuse me, walk away to the NFL. You got the likes of San Diego Chargers looking at him. The Raiders are interested in him. The Commanders are highly interested in him. Bob Meyer has already been in contact with his agent, Don Yang, talking to him. So he could be very cut. Now, even though I don't like Mike Florio because his news and his takes are a little bit all over the place, and I don't take nothing he says. But now, Colin Cowherd, I do take him serious because he do have connections, even though sometimes he could be a little annoying. But he did say Jim Harbaugh will be a slam dunk for the Washington Commanders, and he could see Jim Harbaugh going there. So do not underestimate what Bob Meyer is doing. The influence of getting a big name like Jim Harbaugh, because seeing what he has done with the 49ers, seeing what he has done with Stanford, seeing what he has done with the Michigan Wolverines, and seeing what he has done with other teams, his print on teams is impeccable. Like I say, he wins. You know what I'm saying? When he was with the 49ers, he got them to a Super Bowl, didn't win because he went against his brother. But they had a chance to win that game. And the thing about it is that they traded Alex Smith away for Colin Kaepernick. So, and they was more defense. They ran the ball a lot more, and that's what you need, a balanced team. So me personally think that they will give Jim Harbaugh a strong look. And like I said, don't be surprised if he was to be hired as our next head coach. But my only question is his age and how long he's going to stay with the organization. That's where I want to know. Because if he does come back to the NFL, you better believe he's going to bring his personnel from Michigan. Some of them guys going to come follow him into the NFL. That's just how it is. Excuse me. Now, my number 3 guy is Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. He's another young guy, another young guru. He's 36, just a year under Ben Johnson. Now, he's one of the hottest young minds in the game, overseeing 2 straight top 10 finishes with the Baltimore D as coordinator, including a historic sack and takeaway filled 2023 season. In total, he spent the last 10 years working under the Harbaugh brothers, including 2021 and as Jim's defensive coordinator at Michigan. Boom, there you have it. So he has ties to both guys. Now, and you best believe his coaching style is going to be based on how he was with these guys. Now, he's the top 3rd guy on my list. And trust me, and there has been rumor that he's one of the top guys. You know, Washington is looking at him hard. So, like I say, Washington can't go wrong with Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, or Jim Harbaugh. Period. It can't. You're not going to fail with none of these guys. I just don't believe that. These guys got a extensive background, and knowing that Mike McDonald has worked with both brothers and know their pedigree and know how, and look how the Baltimore Ravens defense is. They are already getting back to how the Baltimore Ravens defense used to be back when Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs and Ed Reed and all them guys. You got Kyle Hamilton, Ed Reed guy. You know what I'm saying? Kyle Hamilton, like an Ed Reed over there. Picking up interception, a guy that we passed on in the draft that we could have got. You know what I'm saying? But if you bring a guy like Mike McDonald in there, you best believe he's going to have an imprint on that defense. He's going to bring whoever he needs to be as an offensive coordinator to run that offense. He's going to take a lot of things away from from Jim and John Harbaugh to put into his repertoire. It's just fitting. So you see the connection. Now, them are my top 3 guys. Now, I'm going to go over some notable names. Not going to spend too much time on it and everything. Now, number 4, I'll go with Eric Bieniemy. He's already assistant head coach and offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. But we already know his resume with Andy Reid. Also, there was a report that the Kansas City Chiefs looking to, bring Eric Bieniemy back for the playoff run because of Washington fired. But Josh Harrison is not letting none of the staff go until they complete this process with the GM. And then, most likely, they'll start making changes to the coaching staff as it proceeds. And so, too bad for the Kansas City Chiefs, But Eric Bieniemy, he's been with them. He has a very prolific offense, but it's too pass heavy. They don't run the ball enough, and he doesn't maximize the skill of the players there. He freezes certain players out. He don't utilize all the weapons like he did in Kansas City. And I think one of the issues that the offensive line has been pretty bad, and Sam Howell has not been as good as we thought he could have been, because you can't do the same things with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City and expect Sam Howell to execute that. Now, you probably could have got away with it a little bit with a Jacoby Brissett, but that would have only took you but so far. So now he will get I'm sure Josh Harris will get him an interview, but as him being the head coach for this team, who knows? I mean, unless you hire a Mike McDonald and he said, well, I want to keep him on because I like his offensive style, but some things need to change, then that's different. If you get a Jim Harbaugh, there's no chance he's going to stay. If you get a Ben Johnson, there's no chance Eric Bieniemy stays. That's just how it is. So it all depends. Now, there's other notable names on the list. Dan Quinn, I already know Dan Quinn from the Atlanta Falcons. He had always keep a great defense, but Tom Brady walked them down in that Super Bowl. Now he's the defensive coordinator. Dan Quinn was with the Lions. He also now with the Dallas Cowboys, and he's getting a head coaching look at a lot of teams like Carolina, the Rams, Commanders, Falcons. Dan Quinn could return back to the Falcons. Who knows? I mean, it's not far-fetched. Arthur Smith may say, hey, you know what? Let's bring you back for another return. Who knows? Then you got the Chargers out there. So there's a lot of different guys out there. Bill Belichick is one. Like I said, Bill Belichick most likely is not going to do anything. Now, one of the surprising names that I seen today was Mike Vrabel. He's 48. He's just under 50, so that he's still fairly young too. Now, we already know Mike Vrabel got his pedigree from Bill Belichick over there in New England, and he's been with the Tennessee Titans for 6 years, taking them to the playoffs. But this year wasn't so great. A lot of speculation about Washington, a lot of reports come out. Like I said, a lot of these reports will come out and say this guy is Washington's top choice and all of that stuff. I don't believe all of that. I don't think Mike Vrabel is a top choice for Washington. I think he's a candidate that it could interview. I don't think he's one of their top choice. Like I said, the three names that I said already are Ben Johnson, Jim Harbaugh, and Mike McDonald. Doing the three top choices right there that Washington is looking at. And either one of them guys is going to be the head coach of the franchise. That's just that. I do believe that Mike Vrabel, if Bill Belichick leaves, then Mike Vrabel could be the guy to take over. Some say Gerard Mayo was coaching waiting. Who knows? Mike Vrabel could go down there to Atlanta, help them out, could take over. Now, like I say, even though Ben Johnson is number one on the list, Carolina Panthers, once they want Ben Johnson, but I don't think Ben Johnson want to be there to deal with an owner like David Tepper. That's just like having another Daniel Snyder in the league. Just nobody's gonna want to coach there because they see how he has done the last few coaches. So that's going to be hard. And it's sad to say because Bryce Young is going to pay the price for it. So other notable names on the list is Frank Smith, offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. Bobby Sloyd also name is on the list. He's the Texans offensive coordinator, and he's 36 also. And look what they have done with C.J. Stroud in his first year. He's been Kyle Shanahan's assistant for 6 years, being with the organization, and he also was with the Commanders with Mike Shanahan during that time, during the 2011 and 13 season. So there's a lot to be desired right there. with Bobby Sloyd. So I think, to me, I think he'll round out my top five. I think I will put him four behind Mike McDonald. Then I'll put Eric Bieniemy at number five. You know what I'm saying? Like other names on the list is Brian Flores. You know, he was the Dolphins head coach at the time, and then with all that scandal with him, he got fired, and then he ended up going to Minnesota. No, he ended up going to Pittsburgh, working under Mike Tomlin for about a year before becoming the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. Which the Vikings and now is not in the playoff because they had a lot of injuries. So, but Brian Flores, he's a good disciplined guy. He's a really good coach. I do like him a lot. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? Like I said, it's a lot. Raheem Morris, who also, he been with us on our coaching staff for a while before going to the Rams with Sean McVay. He's gonna get a look. So there's gonna be a lot of Tom Mulkin. He's his first year coming from Georgia with the Ravens as an offensive coordinator. Now, if you think about it, if Tom Mulkin was decided to leave and become a head coach for the Commanders, who's going to be that quarterback that's going to fit the bill like a Lamar Jackson? Jaden Daniels. I mean, I know a lot of people say, hey, Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams might not be there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think, and Caleb Williams will have to be, Caleb Williams and Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels probably will be that mold for Todd Mulkin to work with. You know what I'm saying? Because they're both athletic. They can move around, skate the pocket, and can make throws, down the field. So who knows? Aaron Glenn, defensive coordinator for the Lions. He also going to get an interview with us. He's 51. Not too bad. 15-year career connected with his my ties and everything like that. It's probably why Washington was so quick to interview him. So you look at it. Now I don't know who would be our top defensive coordinator choice. That's another video I would do probably tomorrow or so to see. But like I said, these are notable names. Like I said, my top three: Ben Johnson, Jim Harbaugh, Mike McDonald. Then rounded off, it would be Bobby Slowick, and Airbnb, and so forth and so on. But I do believe that one of the top three that I mentioned earlier in this video will get a head coaching job with the Washington Commanders. I just do believe that. You can't go wrong with that. And then once we nail our GM, then we nail our head coach. And then guess what's going to happen? We start preparing for the rest of the coaching staff. And then we move on to the draft in April, because guess what? We got January, February, March, April. We only got 3 months before the draft hits. So this train with Josh Harrison is going to move very, very, very rapidly, like he said. So until then, guys, this is your boy Livewire Sports Entertainment. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell anytime I drop a hardcore video. But again, hail to the Commanders. We coming, baby. I'm out. Peace.